What is going on, guys? We are back with another video, and today we're checking out this massive graphics card right here. This is Zotac's RTX 3090 Amp Extreme Holo. So let's go ahead and take a look. Back when the RTX 3090 first launched, there was only one model available from Zotac, and it was their Trinity. You can actually it's actually in my system. I use that as my daily driver. But that card was completely stock reference minus the cooler. So you had all reference speeds and everything like that. And since the launch, Zotac has came out with a few different models. Sitting at the top of their product stack is their Amp Extreme Holo. This card is going to be Zotac's highest overclocked RTX 3090. It's going to have a GPU boost of 1815 megahertz. That is a 120 megahertz boost over the reference card. It's going to be one of the highest overclocked RTX 3090s that you're going to find out there. They've also increased the default power limit from 350 watts all the way up to 420 watts. And then the 24 gigabytes of GDDR6X memory is running at the stock speed. Taking a first look at the card, this card is massive. It's actually one of the largest graphics cards that I've ever reviewed. And I'll put the dimensions of the card kind of like, I guess, right here so you can see. And the figure you want to definitely look at is the length of the card, which is 355.9 millimeters. Now that is going to be a curveball for a lot of people because a lot of cases kind of max out, especially smaller cases, smaller ATX cases. They really max out around 350 millimeters. So being over that, you definitely want to make sure you have a case that will be able to support this card. Zotac is going with their Ice Storm 2.0 cooling system on this card. This features three 100 millimeter cooling fans. Each one of these fans has an 11 blade design, which increases static pressure and airflow by up to 10% compared to the previous generation design. Now the outer two fans have black fan blades, while the center fan, it has a sort of semi-transparent blade design. Under those fans, we have a thick aluminum heatsink stack, and it's actually separated into three distinct sections, and they're all connected by 8 copper heat pipes. Zotac is also using a larger copper surface base plate, so it's not only going to be used for your GPU, but the memory surrounding your GPU as well. The top edge of the card has this sort of holographic section on it, and it's really cool. It's basically going to reflect kind of everything that you put in front of it, and it just looks really unique, and that's probably why this is called the Holo card. Now, under that is actually some RGB lighting, which we'll show you a little bit later in this video, but that section is really cool. The only problem with it is that it is a fingerprint magnet. Flipping the card over to the back, we have a full cover metal back plate, and this actually has the Zotac gaming logo on it as well as another kind of design, and these will actually light up with RGB lighting. As far as connections go on the card, you have your standard 3 DisplayPort 1.4a and a single HDMI 2.1. Now, if we look at the card from the back, we can see that this is actually a triple slot card, so you're definitely going to want to keep that in mind. And the reason for that is because Zotac actually increased the thickness of the heatsink by 10% over the previous generation. When it comes to RGB lighting, we have 3 lighting zones on the card. So you have the Zotac gaming logo, you have the little design on the back of the card, and then you have, of course, the Holo section on the side of the card, or the edge of the card. That lights up with the RGB lighting as well. And then you also have the included GPU support bracket, which has RGB lighting. So in total, we actually have 4 zones. Now, I'm gonna go over the different RGB lighting. This is all controlled with Zotac's Firestorm software. So I'm gonna be going over the different effects and kind of, what you can do. So, of course, we just have our static effect, and of course, we can change the colors very easily. Now, you can control all of these zones independently or synchronize them. I'm doing them all together just to show you, but again, you can control them all individually if you want. So that was static. We also have breathing. Of course, everybody knows the standard breathing effect. And again, you can change the colors. You can also change the brightness and speed of the effect if you want. We'll go to fade, which is like a breathing mode that just goes in between colors. So you'll see that we're going to go ahead and switch colors like that. There is wink, which I guess that's a wink. But yeah, that's wink. There is an effect called shine, but you'll need to have audio playing. That's an audio one. And then there's just random, which is just the lights randomly lighting up kind of however they want to. So those are the standard effects. We'll go to animated effects. The first one is slide. And you can see we're kind of sliding throughout the card there. And again, you can change colors with these. I'll change it to red, and you'll see it changes there. But that is it there. We have a rainbow effect. Of course, everybody knows the rainbow wave or the rainbow effect. So we have that. We have marquee. Again, that goes throughout the card in the different sections. And then we have drip, which again goes throughout the card and the different sections. There is a dance mode, but again, that's sound controlled, so we can't show you that one. There's duet, which I actually really like. So this basically does a wave of 2 different colors. And you can select these colors yourself, but they have some preset ones. We're on like a green and teal right now, but we can go to like a darker, a yellow and orange, which I think looks really good right there. And there's even like a purple and pink kind of deal going on, or a pink and white. And you can set these. This is one of my favorite effects. And then there's just path. And path will just change colors and go a path throughout the different RGB sections. So a lot of cool RGB effects on this card. On a lot of these animated effects too. So we'll do, say, drip, for instance. It is going in a circuit throughout the different RGB sections, but we can switch that. We can turn the circuit off, and then it's going to do all of the sections at once, just going through each one of them. So you can kind of set that. Again, I'll show you that one on marquee as well. So marquee, going through the different sections in the circuit, but then we can just do them all at once, and it's going to do all of the sections on their own circuit. So you can, like I said, a lot of different stuff. As I said, my favorite one is probably the duet, but a lot of different RGB options on this card. Before we jump into testing, here are the specifications of our test setup. So this is Zotac's flagship RTX 3090, and does it really live up to being called a flagship graphics card? Well, I think Zotac has done a lot of really good things with this card. Mainly, of course, you have that massive factory overclock. So again, this card's gonna have a GPU boost all the way up to 1815 megahertz, and that's one of the highest overclocks that you're going to see on an RTX 3090. In order to do that, they of course had to increase the TDP of the card all the way up to 420 watts, which is pretty high, and that kind of makes the card a little bit less efficient than, say, a stock RTX 3090. So definitely, go ahead and keep that in mind. Also, with that high overclock, you have to have a really good cooling solution, and their Ice Storm 2.0 cooling solution is really good. As I mentioned, it is a triple fan, triple slot cooler with 8 heat pipes. It does a really great job of keeping this card nice and cool, but that does come with the downside of it is a little loud compared to some of the other cooling solutions that we reviewed in this, new generation of graphics cards. But also keep in mind that if you're doing nothing on your computer, it's just idling, those fans aren't going to be running at all. Now, one thing I really like to see on especially higher end graphics cards is a dual BIOS function. You do have that on this card, but it's software only. So you have to go ahead and download their Firestorm app, and then you can switch the BIOS in that app only. There's no hardware switch on the card itself. And I think that what Zotac was thinking is it's much easier to do it in software than going into your computer and pressing a button, or going under your desk and pressing a button. And that makes sense. But the problem is that if for some reason I flash my BIOS and I brick that BIOS, I can't restart my computer and go to the next BIOS by pressing a button. So it would be nice to have that hardware option for the dual BIOS feature. And then we come to RGB lighting, and the RGB lighting on this card is excellent. The software is great, and you have 3 individually controllable sections on the card itself, which is really, really awesome. And then you have the included metal GPU support bracket that has RGB lighting as well, and everything together is just gonna look awesome inside your case. And talking about being inside the case, this is a massive, massive graphics card. So definitely keep in mind that you're gonna need to find a case that will support the length of this card. Now, coming down to price, I hate GPU pricing right now. I think all of you do. I think we all hate pricing, and we all hate availability. It's so hard to find anything. This card has an MSRP of $27.99, which I think is crazy for a graphics card. Even a 3090, I just think it's very, very expensive for what you're getting. And that's just because of the supply and demand of the certain parts that are making up all of these GPUs. That's why the prices have got really crazy when it comes to graphics cards. And like I said, even MSRPs across the board from every company, all of their higher end cards are extremely expensive. But Zotac is running a promotion right now where it's $25.99 directly from them on their website. I will put that link in the description where you can go ahead and pick this card up. I nearly didn't talk crazy about performance. We had a lot of performance graphs, but a 3090 is going to be your 4K gaming over 60 FPS card. It's going to easily do that. All the newest titles with everything turned up, you're going to get over 60 FPS at 4K. 1440p, that's going to be your high frame rates, over 144 hertz in a lot of titles with everything turned up. You're not 1080p gaming with a 3090. But the thing I want to say is also a 3090 is overkill for a lot of stuff. A lot of times you're never going to take, you're never going to make use of that 24 gigabytes of GDDR6. That's why I said this is a great card for gamers who are also creators. If you're just a gamer, 3080 Ti are great options to look at, and maybe we'll do a video going over what I think graphics cards you should get if you're looking in specific price ranges, or what, if you're a gamer, if you're a creator, what you're gonna do. But this is gonna wrap it up for this video. I hopefully, that you guys found this helpful, and if you did, I would appreciate it if you hit that thumbs up. If you have any questions about this card, definitely go ahead and leave it in the comment section below. And if you enjoyed this video, it would be awesome if you subscribe. We'll see you guys in the next video.